Yeah. All right, we live. Like, we live. Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. We here, man. We
We
buffering.
live. We in
Shout out
here.
to
We
all the
are
people,
in
man,
here.
that's tuned in. It's locked in. We about to have us a nice edutaining conversation. And you know, this conversation, it requires what we call participation. Goddamn. So shit, in the comment section, y'all going on and tell us what city y'all tapping in from right now. You know, going on and tell a friend that we having a, you know what I'm saying?
It's the chop up, man. We here. It's another Monday, best part of y'all week, and y'all know that. You feel me?
Welcome.
Very interesting conversation to have today. We talking Donald Trump. We talking sexuality. We talking demonizing black people, black men in a particular context, but a particular group, black queer people have this problem in general. And we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into these conversations. Kansas City, Killer City in the building. Wait, what is it? We it. We it. You know what I'm saying? Lawrence, Kansas too. I'm fucking with Lawrence, Kansas too. Seattle in this hole. You feel me? Virginia Beach. Yeah. We getting it cracking. We getting it cracking. And everybody here from TikTok, we appreciate y'all. We aren't as famous, Toya and myself, as consciously.
We got Killeen,
welcome.
Texas in this thing, man. Shout out to everybody down there, down yonder way in Central Texas, man. Shout out to
We got
Killeen,
Atlanta, we got Chicago, we got Denver. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Since hey, St. Louis in here, that's love too. You know what I'm saying? Show me state. Y'all know what it is.
Man, we got Melbourne, Australia in the place to be too as well, man.
We got Aurora, or you know, that's country motherfuckers. We can't pronounce a lot of shit. Aurora, Colorado. Yeah,
that's my family is at. You know how my family in Kansas City, the other half of my family live in Denver and Aurora. So what's up to y'all?
Yeah, but hey, every
corner Mississippi and Sable. Y'all know where that's at.
Yeah. Hey, everybody deep in here, so we can go ahead and get the show started.
Philly, yeah. Hey, yeah, Toya. Yeah, I'm gonna shut up, Damo. Let Toya bring us in.
Hey, but actually, y'all know, but first, in order to get the show started, we got to go ahead. Get the intro cracking. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Me, my guys, we really live. Lord, forgive me, pay my tithes. Please don't have me reach inside. And that's in the console. Keep the semi when I ride. Let off Henny when I drive. In the city, we gon' slide. Bet I be there pronto.
Hey.
Pronto. What's poppin', y'all? What's going on? What's good? Y'all know what's going on. Thank y'all for tapping in to the Chop Up. It's another Monday night, but it's not just any old Monday night. It is the first Monday night in 2021. Shout out to y'all. We made it. We pulled through. We made it over. It's a lot of people that are deep into the year. So I love the fact that y'all decided to hang out with us. January 4th, 2021 was really good. We're going to go ahead and introduce or show love to introduce to some. What they say at church, we're going to introduce to some and present to others. That's what they say.
Others. Yeah. Look, church kids like a mother, you know the intro.
People in the conversation. So, like I said, I'm Toya G, but who else I'm on here with? What's going down?
Man, y'all, I guess y'all know that nigga. Yeah, it's the political plug. You feel me, Damo? We in here. It's another Monday. Let's get into this information, man. I'm ready.
Yeah, man. Hey, and Georgia Lee, aka Country, don't forget the Lee. We at GeorgiaLeeSpeaks.com. You know, we got some good deals coming y'all way and some good services coming y'all way this 2021, man. Shout out to all of Atlanta. Shout out to the whole state of Georgia. Yeah, I told everybody to tap in, man. We about to have a nice edutaining conversation about some things I feel like that's impacting not just the black community, but our communities. But best believe we about to filter frame all these conversations through the black community. What we got first?
Well, first, our love, because you know we fuck with the chat tough. Our love said no live caption. Our love, if you know how to get them live captions on the live, because the software we use, the StreamYard. Hit us up, man. Hit us up on
definitely.
Business at thechopupshow.com. Business at thechopupshow.com. Let us know how we can utilize that, because we definitely trying to get that in and include that in how we do our programming. But let's get started, Toya.
Hey, let's do it. So Snapchat is real simple. I kind of hit it at the start of the show. I'm still in the way my job is set up. You know, it was like the beginning of the year came and then I immediately had to start working. So I didn't even get that little time off that y'all had to start today. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still in the New Year's vibes. I'm still feeling good. I'm still feeling some type of way. It's not 2020 no more. So I want to ask y'all, want to ask the chat. First question, does it feel different? Do you feel different? Do you feel like lighter? Do you feel like something changed for you? Or are we still kind of working our way into the new year? What's good?
I feel different. I feel different. But I got my spiritual homegirl, my wife all into the stars and all that shit. So it was supposed to be some full moons. We had the winter solstice conglomeration shit that took place and all that. So technically, anybody that pay attention to the stars, you should be feeling like you're going through a transition, a newness. You feel me? But the thing that we able to hold on to and grab on to the most is that niggas ain't complaining about 2020 no more. You know what I mean? And so I don't think niggas had this much like faith in a year. You know what I'm saying? Like 2021, like we believe in 2021, like Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's a positive. I think that's a good way that we all just like, ooh, we got through that collectively. Nigga, let's go ahead and let's march into 2021. Let's get it together.
Right on. So Damo feeling a little bit different. Put some elbow grease into it, but it's feeling some remnants of some change. Lee, what about you?
I feel like I think I'm feeling some newness, but my birthday December 9th and I turned 30. So I was already kind of feeling like I've been turning over a new leaf slowly but surely. So I feel like, with the new year starting in the week, how it did, starting in the weekend, how it did. I feel like today being Monday, being what today is the 4th. I feel like I'm kind of easing on in real smooth into what's going on for the year, trying to, get to these quarterly goals. You know what I'm saying? Making sure I'm setting these aspirations that's very pragmatic and real. Also feel like I'm, trying to wrap my head around some things. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get different. You feel me? And the last thing I'll say is just that shit. The old folks used to always say, in order for you to get something different, you gotta do something you ain't never did before. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to think of doing shit I ain't never did before to get some results I ain't never had before. So. And
look, I see some of them in the chat. Y'all talking about the new moon phases and that refreshing of the energy. Man, y'all better get into the natal charts and the esoterics and all of that. Yeah,
that's funny. I'm gonna say this. Ain't it funny? I'm gonna say that.
If y'all want to get into more of it, the Over 30 podcast is a good place to go. Damo is over another podcast that comes on Tuesday night. So the Over 30 podcast that comes on Chop. Does it come on? I know it comes on Facebook. Does it come on YouTube as well?
Facebook and YouTube. Yeah, the Over 30 podcast on Facebook and YouTube.
If y'all want more similar vibes, great conversations, all of that, check that out. And then if you behind on that, you can get caught up on that because what's my homegirl name?
Tisha Marie, the Over 30 holistic expert.
Tomorrow, ain't y'all doing the readings tomorrow?
We are doing natal chart readings tomorrow.
And what time y'all doing natal chart readings? What time?
It'll be same time, 7:30. 7:30 Pacific Standard, 9:30 your time. Yeah. So if y'all trying to get you
now tomorrow, hey, to everybody that's tuned in right now. Tomorrow, Consciously gonna get his reading on the Over 30 podcast. So y'all come tune in. You feel me? It's gonna be definitely the conversation gonna be real juicy and flowing. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody in the comments said, "What's our signs? What's y'all signs, real quick? Drop them.
I'm a Sagittarius. Man. I'm a Sagittarius.
I'm a Scorpio.
I am. I'll tell you how in tune I am with my shit. I am a Gemini sun. I am a Sagittarius moon, and I am a Taurus ascendant. Taurus rising. So
yeah, I got told all of that other shit, but she just kept saying, "Damn, you got a lot of." She was like, "You got a lot of Scorpio in your chart." You feel me? So she's just like, "There's something wrong with you. You got a lot of Scorpio in your chart." So I'm like, "Damn, I just stuck with that." So
yeah,
but yeah. So y'all check us out tomorrow. But yeah, y'all embrace that newness. It's a new year. We already got a Debbie Downer pointing out in the chat that it's not a real transition. It's arbitrarily decided. We know that. We know, you know what I'm saying? The calendar is what the calendar is, goddammit. We collectively decided that we're going into a new year, so we in a new year. You know what I'm saying? Embrace that. Embrace the newness.
Absolutely.
Let's get into it.
Well, I mean, are we done with the Snapchat? We moving on?
Nah, go real quick. Go ahead.
No. We know you got the conversation. That's why we was like, yeah.
That's why I'm seeing. That's why I want to get some representatives. We got some Tauruses represented up in here. It's a lot of Cancers. Let me see. What seems like the most common sign in the chats tonight? Let me do a little quick analysis.
Some Taurus ascendants, some Libra suns, some Scorpio moons,
Scorpios
Leo gang. They representing Pisces. Yeah, Pisces is in here deep.
I'm looking right now. Like Posse's looking like, man.
Yeah, Pisces is in here deep.
I love AM. They said Capricorn. K-A-P-P-A.
Straight up. But yeah, man. Hey, so yeah, if y'all want to find out more about how your sign can benefit from the new year, y'all check out the Over 30 podcast. We'll be getting it in tomorrow. But tonight, though.
Oh, it ain't a Gemini in the room. Okay, Terry, what's up? Terry, what's good? What's poppin'? I'm looking for my sign. Kiara, what's poppin'?
You have no friends.
But you know, out of Sagittarius, the building.
Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody that know where to go to get they sign. You know what I'm saying? In the smiley faces and all that other shit. Yeah. Shout out to all y'all, man.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, here's my second question to y'all. We're gonna keep the conversation moving. I want y'all in the chest to participate. Oftentimes for the new year, we say, "What do you want to do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna stop doing? What's something you're gonna stop doing? What's something that you said I'm gonna move away from? I'm gonna cease. It's the end of the road for that thing. What's something you think you're gonna stop doing for the end of the year? I mean, for this new year."
Man, I know for me, I'm gonna stop going. I feel like I've always been for my life being a person that say I'm the way whatever way the wind blows. You know what I'm saying? And kind of being like, I'm just gonna go with the flow type thing. I think that I feel like in my 30 years now, year 30, I want to be more intentional and more purposeful.
My favorite word.
Not really go with the flow as much as I used to go. You know what I'm saying? I want to just, you know what I mean, be a lot more, you know what I mean, intentional with the shit that I do. And be a lot more, I feel like, purposeful with the time I spend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
George is trying to live his life in higher definition. I love that. I love it.
That's funny. What I'm trying to stop doing, because everybody say procrastinating and you know all of that other shit. I'm gonna stop being so. I'm gonna stop being so reserved. I'm taking more risks in 2021. 2020 gave me the opportunity to kind of chill. You feel me? And so ultimately, you know, come 2021, I'm gonna stop being so reserved. I'm really about to be out there like that. So y'all stay tuned. It's a lot on the way up for the chop up. It's a lot on the way for the political plug. Over 30, all of that. We really on some shit come 2021. So I'm out there.
Right on. I don't know, a little bit different, I think, but similar to Damo. I think I'm real chill. I think if people were to describe me, it's like a calm presence. I'm here, but I'm not really doing a lot. But I want to find ways to be a little bit more active, from everything from posting a little bit more often and kind of getting into a little bit more. I don't know. It's weird to say that. Is odd because I have this feeling like ain't nobody really worried about me, and nobody really, you know, tripping. Don't nobody care what I have to say. Like it's just this weird brain thing that I go through. But I want to get out of that and just be a little bit more present, a little bit more in the mix, post a little bit more, be in the vibes a little bit more, and make sure I'm being intentional about that. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I want to jump in these comments. Y'all got some stuff y'all trying to cook up on. I want to make sure I shout y'all out. So I'm just gonna fly through. We're gonna go up to where I start seeing them come in. People that don't, Vanna said they're gonna stop forgiving people who don't deserve to be forgive.
Right.
Stop procrastinating was something I saw a couple times. We got to lay off eating fast food. Just a little bit. Balance is important in 2021. I want y'all to get there. I'm getting there too. Balance is good. Have it, but leave it alone.
We got Chris Lee NYC said risk, not risk management. You know what I'm saying? That's how we looking at it. We going in. Which one did you click on, George?
I was on Noel's.
Stop giving free headspace
to others that critique me, but don't know me or don't have my best interest at heart. And that's alone, all they say in Oklahoma on God.
Oh God. Oh God. We got a few more stopping with the self-doubt. That's beautiful, right? Always believe in yourself. We got some folks saying, I'm also stopping family members from projecting their insecurities on me. That's what you call maturity.
Shout out to the homie Kai, who was like letting toxic people influence my decisions and standing firm on what I know is best for me. Those are really similar in terms of just telling people like, nah, I'm smooth. Like, I'm good. That ain't what I said. That ain't what it is. That ain't what we doing.
And this is what we all need to do, especially you, George, on the internet. Stop arguing with ignorance. That's what we, you know what I'm saying? That's what
argue
we're
with ignorance for the I argue with ignorance for the people to be able to see how you deal with ignorance.
How you deal with ignorance. Yeah, straight up. Straight up.
One, I'm gonna shout out before I slide off here because I love the fact figuring out where they drawing their lines at. That's I love the fact that we doing that because that's I think a part people skip when these resolution time periods come. But somebody said I'm gonna stop eating bread, and I'm right. Like I'm fighting.
Right, fuck all the deep shit. You like I'm gonna cut the carbs out. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? It reminds me of that Oprah commercial. I don't know, and this is for my Netflix and my Hulu watchers. That Oprah commercial that always come on. It starts off like this: I love bread. Like she's just on there. Like,
oh yeah.
And I struggle with it. Like it's a whole Oprah meal, like Weight Watchers.
Because she got because Oprah got the that's good. She got that's her food. I watch commercials. Like my wife talks about how I pay attention to commercials. Branding works on me. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I know exactly what commercial you're talking about.
When you trying to binge Grey's Anatomy in peace, you don't really care about Oprah's infatuation with bread.
Oh, I thought you said I was on the binge. No,
not you. You don't like to feel things. You don't like to experience life.
Not when I'm watching TV. Goddamn it.
What do you call it? Melodrama. It's melodramatic. You don't like to listen to that.
It's feeling.
Yeah. No,
right.
I don't like
Last question on the way out. Be quick with it. Just a couple words. Advice for people in 2021. What y'all give them?
Make sure y'all tune in and subscribe to the Chop Up.
Advice for 2021. Political plugs. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Chop Up show.
The Chop Up show.
Outside of that, what's the advice y'all giving to everybody for 2021? Free game.
Free game, man. The free I'm trying to give you is if you're gonna be on social media and sit on social media for free, try to figure out how to sit on social media and get you a fee.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm gonna take Kawana. And I hope I pronounced her name right. Kawana Stevenson said, "Wear a damn mask."
You know,
that's my advice. Give a fuck. Oh, you
know. And shit, let me tell y'all is I like George said something earlier that I'm gonna steal and use for mine because it is something. It's an approach that I like to use and it's something I encourage y'all to use too. Take a seasonal approach. Right? How about I dare you to start something? Seasons, we got 12 months, 4 seasons. That's 3 months, about 90 days. I'm gonna challenge you like I'm challenging myself. Start something and don't stop it to the end of a season. Do something for a season. If flowers and earth and nature and shit can grow and go and develop and die and come back and in that seasonal relationship. Just going back in and reassessing itself so that for the next season it's prepared to move forward. You know what I'm saying? So take it 3 months at a time. A lot of people got a lot of big goals. You know what I'm saying? But check in on yourself after 3 months. Give yourself a season before you quit. Give yourself a whole kind of check-in session before you just slide up off of something and see where it gets you. And I see y'all.
Inspirational shit, HD.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a hell of a Snapchat for your ass. Y'all learned something.
They were too fast, but yeah, man.
I'm seeing what y'all coming up with. I say all this to say happy 2021. We in this thing. We made it, y'all. Let's keep pushing. Let's make it through another one. Let's do it.
Yeah, man. Well, with that being said, man, we're about to get into this conscious shop. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. You know, a few days ago, I was asked a question by Mr. Janty on TikTok about bisexual, about black men being bisexual. This comes from you know what? I'm just gonna play the video. I think it's best that I just play the video for y'all, and you know that's how we gonna do that. I got
you got the sound.
Black women. What is the reason for you? So, Mr. Man, without blaming black women, the reason for you exclusively date outside of you.
All right, so I responded to this video a couple of days ago. You know, basically saying, you know, I'm trying to date black women, but black women don't want me because I'm bisexual, and the only options I basically had left was white women. But I have a rebuttal question. You know, being that you're one of the most intelligent people I've seen, I feel like you're the one who could best answer this question for me. Why is that in the Black community or minority community, specifically Black women, why do some of them refuse to date a man that is openly bisexual without mentioning STDs and without mentioning their insecurities? Also without mentioning how they were raised and brought up. Because I've been trying to date Black women for 31 years and not a single one of them would date me because I'm bisexual.
Man,
Co-host.
Question of the week.
Co-host. What do y'all think? What's y'all response to the question? This generally first, before we start getting into the nuts and crannies of this conversation, like of unpackaging. What's y'all general? You know what I'm saying? And you just got hate general questions, but like, yeah, to his what he asked. What's your response?
I mean, as a queer Black woman, I feel like Toya is only right.
Okay, I want to be precise about the specific question. So his question is without mentioning STDs, bad past. I missed some of the other
insecurities. How you was raised.
What is the reason that Black women, or why women won't date bisexual men?
Bisexual Black men.
Bisexual Black men.
Yeah.
I don't think that there is a really good, strong, persuasive reason that doesn't have appendages that lead itself to you saying everything, but I'm afraid to be with who I want to be with because of something that has been debunked, turned on its head, or that you're telling yourself because you're afraid of something that you shouldn't be afraid of, which is de facto what is it? What's the word? Homophobia, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's a fear. It's a fear. This is where that term is most aptly, because I know we use homonegativity as a way to describe and explain a particular phenomenon. I think that can be seen when we look at how we deal with bisexuals in general. That negativity toward how they live, you a cheater, you a this, you that's the kind of the violence that comes from it. But the fear that you're going to catch something, that your alignment with that person will and what they've done will negatively impact you, and that people will have a perception of you, and that will create, a level of deviance or dirtiness on you and who you are, that that shit is fear, right? And it's a presupposition that you have because of bad things you've been taught about homosexual people, particularly men who might put themselves in positions where they are feminized in some way.
Damo?
Yeah, I mean, Toya said a whole bunch of smart shit, right?
So I only got one brain.
Yeah, I know. So I'm gonna follow that up with this. I think it's unfair to ask to have that conversation and not introduce the ways in which we've been socialized to understand particular relationships. You can't reduce things to just insecurities. You feel me? Like, especially when what you perceiving as an insecurity is something that's been established based off of socialization. You know what I mean? Like, it's not outside the range of understanding to think that even the most tolerant individual that is in like a heterosexual relationship, without a further understanding of breaking down gender binaries and sexuality being deeper than our anatomy, that type of shit, without having a deeper understanding of that socially, that's more so the expectation. And so while I appreciate what he's bringing up in terms of what he's had to deal with in those circumstances, and being a heterosexual cisgendered Black male, I can't, begin to understand what it's like to not be accepted by women because of my sexuality. But ultimately, on that particular question, we're dealing with something larger than just like when we talk about that preference, right? Like the question of whether or not I fuck with Black women or not, that's always about, well, I prefer and this, that, and the third. But then when we start asking questions of, well, why am I ostracized by any community or by any group in the Black community, it always comes back to how we've been socialized to understand sexuality. And it's a disservice to ignore those parts of it, because the problem that I have with it is he's framing it like, oh, that's the excuse. That's an excuse for them. And that's not an excuse when that is the cause, right? It's all mental. It's all how we come to understand the world. So I do think that there's issues with the way that bisexual men are framed and how they're demonized and criminalized, and how black women unwittingly a lot of times play into that. Because we got to understand, man, like the shit that we consider normal, we don't think it's wrong to be like, but that's not normal. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so it takes a deeper conversation to get this conversation.
I think that deviancy is a big part of this conversation. And if I'm being real, my initial response to dude, but I end up like deleting, like, man, I don't want to come at that because I think he's asking me a genuine question. But I wanted to just be like, hey, listen, fam, this kind of cop out to my original framing of the conversation being about the dateability, respectability in terms of how people are attracted to black women. And your rebuttal question is kind of a cop out in saying that black women don't date me because I'm bisexual. It's like, hey, fam, the same internet you was able to ask me this question on, it's the same internet you can go find a black women, a groups of black women that are into black men that are bisexual. So I was kind of like, hey, fam, let's kind of cap on this, but I ain't gonna come at you like that. So I'm saying I tried to respond to the video from kind of how Damo coming in, just like we condition in certain ways. Because you know what I'm saying, my next question, you know what I'm saying, would be is
because I do agree though, like in terms of the initial question, he mixed in two things that are two more like important conversations. Like yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I mean, that is what happened when you have circumvention. What does it mean to circumvent something? It means you try to sidestep and tiptoe around it so that you don't have to deal with the baggage of it and potentially be culpable for certain toxic things that you've internalized too. So when you try to slip and slide around stuff by slipping and inserting something else, well, what about, right? Who you ever argue with somebody who you try to call to? Because I used to be this person, and somebody I was in a relationship had to grow me out of it, where they like, I need to talk to you about something. I got to get you together, bada boom. And you like, but what? And you've been quiet. You haven't had a complaint, haven't had a grievance, haven't had an issue. But in the face of your own bullshit, you want to be like, well, what about this? And all of a sudden you have a resume of things that you want to get them together about. And that shit ain't fighting fair, right? That's meaningless instead of meaningful engagement that really starts to derail the conversation from what it's going to be. Let's do a chat real quick. Is this thing going on? Or do y'all want to keep it pushing?
Oh, yeah, the chat is going on.
Yeah. Check the chat.
It's almost hard to figure out.
Yeah. I'm about to say it's going so fast. I can't even click a comment to see because it's going so fast. And when I try to click comment, I clicked the wrong comment. So I was like, yeah.
And we got 220 people across all three platforms on Consciously, on Facebook, and on the Chop Up. So shout out to all of y'all that's in this. So we appreciate y'all joining the conversation.
Yeah, man. I'm 200 plus for y'all, definitely.
It's a mixed comments in here. Like for all the people that's in here, it's a whole bunch of different perspectives on it. Here are a couple of things that I'm gonna stand by in relationship before we move to Lee's next questions that I want us to, and I'm willing to stand by in terms of sexuality, right? First of all, sexuality is fluid, right? So that's one of the things y'all gonna have to realize about people, how they maneuver, how they navigate notions of sexuality. You're going to want to sit and put them in a box and anticipate that from the time that you met them or the time that you learned about their sexuality and orientation to the time that you done fooling with them, that everything is going to stay on the same track. And that's just not realistic. People don't owe you their past. They don't owe you their resumes unless it is a consensual orientation to dropping that type of information. I saw a lot of tweets that made me laugh. They said, 4 days ago, baby, my body count started over. We're back at 0. Hello, welcome to 2021. And so who knows what that Carfax could say? You know what I'm saying? Who knows what you
Carfax? I'm married though. So I don't, like you talking to married folk though, so we don't worry about them problems.
That's still hilarious. They said at the new year they body count started over.
0. And they're ready to move forward. And so I think you will always be disappointed. You will always be frustrated. You will always be let down. And this is even your heterosexual partners, your homosexual partners, your trans partner, your trans or non-gender conforming relationships. When you attempt to put somebody's sexuality in a box, when you attempt to have your expectations be disappointed by their history or their past. You playing yourself every time, because that is completely the antithesis of what sexuality is and how.
Hey, I think you started some shit. So your new year, new body count.
Not new year, new body count. New year, to me, that's hilarious. To me, like
I think it's what I saw. Niggas said we are starting back. And what Brian Knight said, we gonna start back.
Yeah, what? We start back at zero, goddamn. Why you asking about
that too though? Hey, somebody I want to give a shout out to that I feel like content is just, when I say hilarious, and I use that purposely, hilarious. Erica Kane on TikTok. Erica Kane, E. Kane on TikTok. When I tell y'all, she got some of the funniest content. You know what? I feel like she makes like poetry a philosophy. Like she theorizes and I feel like she theorizes and like gives a philosophy behind like hoeing. You feel me? And it's just like intriguing for me to just like, it blows my mind. You feel me? Like it's crazy. You feel me?
But I do want to get to a question in the chat, and this question that's asked by Samantha is the question that most people ask. Like this is like the question that comes up with transgender conversation with the queer. It's this question of disclosure, right? Samantha Wyatt asks, "Are you saying that a man that is involved with a woman doesn't owe her the truth of who he is?" Now, let me say this, and I want you to kill it, Toya, because I don't like going after Toya, because it's like it ain't as, you know what I'm saying. So the thing about when we talk about like this question of bisexuality, if it's a man that one would consider bisexual and he in a relationship with a woman, like that question of promiscuity is irrelevant to the question of his sexuality if his committed relationship is with a woman. The issue with the way that question is phrased and the way that people phrase it is that when you have a man that's willing to say that they are both sexually attracted to men and women, they become demonized. Mm-hmm. And so there's this weird or deviant nature that's attached to that individual that then becomes like, oh, well, if you would do that, then you would do it to an animal. Right. And it's like, that's why you always the question of pedophilia, when you talk about homosexuality or any queerness at all, the question of pedophilia always gets brought up because it's the idea of a queer body is all the way deviant. Yeah. And so like the sexual deviance, pedophilia, you got to put them on the same page because mentally, socially, that's the only way that you understand it. It's that type of deviance. But the problem is if it is a man that is committed to a woman, regardless of any outside any outside attraction, right? Like or who else he could possibly be attracted to, a committed relationship is a committed relationship. And if these are the only two people that's like that we're together, I shouldn't, man or woman, it shouldn't be nobody else in the picture. Exactly. This is our committed relationship. Unless we've had conversations to allow us to do otherwise, and you got to talk about that shit because ain't nobody assuming. Well, I thought you was cool with me fucking whoever I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Toya.
I want to answer the last question real quick in terms of, wait, are you saying you don't have to disclose things? This is my take on relationships, particularly being somebody who identifies as queer. A lot, and let me preface it with this: a lot of what you want to know. And that a lot of the concerns that a lot of people are bringing up are able to be grappled with, and there are inroads to confronting those in different ways than what y'all giving it credit for. Y'all are just choosing the homo-negative, kind of bi-negative way of going about it. Case in point, the question that was asked was, do I not deserve to know the truth? Well, let's think about that for a minute. What you really want to know, if I'm understanding the question right, is if that person has some baggage that from their past that could impact you, something like an STD. Well, okay, that's general knowledge that you should want to know from any partner.
Are anybody?
You have a background to get tested? Is that a habit for you? Do you value your health in that way? Do you have a regimen? So there's a different way to get about asking that question that you would ask to any sexual partner, regardless of their past, because you just want to know. Regardless of where you've been and what you've done, have you been on the up and up? You would want to know that same thing if that person had only been with women. The second thing is you wanting to know in terms of what they do and how they move. What your real question is I am interested in a monogamous relationship. Are you too invested in monogamy? Because the concern is not bisexuality, or should not be whether or not they have an attraction to somebody else outside of the confines of the relationship, because they with you. So why does it matter?
Oh, and froze.
Yeah, froze up a little quickness there.
Froze with a little quickness. Froze with a little quickness. Well, I'm about to say, well, yeah.
But yeah, why she because a part of what she was speaking to, Uncle P put in the chat, he brought up the poly conversation. And of course that's the point though, right? That's a conversation that you have. Let's get Toya right. That's a conversation that you have when when one is open about like, yo, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? She was going off and her shit.
Sis was going off. Sis was going off. And and this is why everybody right now should make sure that the entirety of 2021, every Monday night, you see what the Chop Up Show has cooking up for y'all, because this is what we had. This is a weekly conversation that we do every Monday about things that's going on in the world. And today we just happen to be discussing the positionality of the B in the LGBTQ community, and specifically,
right, you know what they call the alphabet people. This is the B of the alphabet people. You know, Robert Holland said the Illuminati came for Toya. I was about to say the same shit.
Man,
you know, the CIA popped up.
CIA had to say shoot.
Yeah, the PI.
I'm gonna want to ask the other question without her even being here. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, we'll Toya will be back. Just technical difficulties be what it is, but I think to kind of continue on the point that she was making is that ultimately the type of transparency that we expect and that we're adamant about from someone who would consider themselves bisexual should be the same transparency that you would expect in any in any relationship. If it's about like how we engage sexually, right? I mean, because a heterosexual man. Go ahead.
No, I'm about to cut you off. And I think we need to cut it. I think we need to curve this conversation in terms of saying that the dude that posed this question, he posed this question and saying, openly bisexual man. Why? Because in my mind, he's asking the question where he's already acknowledging the phenomenon of being down low. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, like how he posed the question, he's already acknowledging that there's a such thing as being down low. You feel me? And he's already acknowledging that there are black women that date down low black men. But I feel like the question about why there's a stigma about why openly bisexual black men aren't usually dated by black women. And I thought that was, in my opinion, the way in which I answered the question with, I feel like good faith, because I feel like he was trying to ask something very genuine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, but that's the thing though. So, because sometimes you run into the problem of where you got somebody that you feel like is trying to add something genuine, but that genuineness is being weaponized as a part of a conversation. That genuineness was weaponized as a part of a conversation that really again, those two things, did not connect. The question of black women have that the perspective that they have on bisexual men, and why people say they don't date. Because the question, are you making an excuse? That's what you would have to ask them. But go ahead and everybody said you was going in.
Let's pick up conversation going on, man. Yeah, so
we know the CIA got you, but we back.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I'm pissed. All I was about to say, and I was shouting out Uncle P in the comments. Polyamory.
We shouted them out.
Polyamory is what you want to know about. You know what I'm saying? Your question is about whether or not you're interested in dating multiple people at one time. Would you be truthful with me? Is that something I'm open to? So ask the right questions and you'll get the right answers from people without being nosy, right? When people want to bring you something, they will. I think a lot of people are concerned with, well, I don't want to learn about this 6 months down the line or a year. Why not? By then you will have loved that person, cared about that person, built a relationship about that person, got into a routine with them. So why are any of those things relevant if they all about you? It's insecurity. And so that's all I was saying. And yes, I'm talking my shit. So the whole internet just decided to go away real quick. I'm happy y'all waited for me and y'all held a space for me to tell my truth real quick, because that's that on that.
Yeah, man.
I get
So
you can go get to your next. You can go get to your next question, George.
Just to keep the conversation going, I actually was sitting at my sister-in-law's house when I seen this video. And because I was around some black women, I tapped in and asked them, you feel me? And one of my nieces, I know I got multiple nieces, so I feel like I ain't this album, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like conditioning is a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? We all lost in the sauce of how we condition in this heteronormative world. That's the reason why my response was about heteronormativity, because we all have been conditioned to buy into how heteronormativity and normalizing heterosexual relationships has been made to be seen as the standard. So my niece was literally asked the question though. She literally asked the question. I asked her like, so would you date a man that know that was bisexual? And I'm talking about she young though. So this is what I'm saying. So I feel like she wasn't trying to be fallacious at all, wasn't trying to be, but she asked, wouldn't I get something if I dated a man that was bisexual? So y'all know y'all be damn. Y'all crazy in y'all head. Y'all think y'all was gonna tune in different people to some consciously was doing. I wasn't gonna give you an education as elevation, right? So coming from this little article on the bodypro.com, it says that HIV diagnosis among black women in the U.S. had declined in the past 10 years. Although questions remain as what factors caused the drop, according to 2019 published in AIDS and Behavior, changes in behavior among black gay and black bisexual cisgender men may be potential contributor to the decline, highlighting their bridging potential for HIV transmission to heterosexual women. So my question to y'all into the comment section is, though it's pretty much increased HIV testing and treatment for black bisexual men may have played a role in the HIV drop in black women, but has the stigma gone away in terms of black bisexual men being pathologized for being disease packing mofos?
No.
Yeah, nah. I mean, because I mean the down low brother myth or hysteria still exists. I mean, not to say, but the interesting thing that I think about when it comes to the down low brother phenomenon is that if the society and the culture, or I mean just that group of people wouldn't weaponize sexuality against niggas, it wouldn't be something that niggas dealt with, right? Like, and so we look at it as like, you know, niggas be hiding it. Yeah, because y'all be threatening niggas' life. You feel me? Like, the fuck? Like, it's if somebody hides being gay, there's no surprise why they would do that. Like, niggas be like, why would he hide it? Why? Because motherfuckers will treat him like shit, toss him out the window.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, that's why it's like, I mean, early on, like I had, you know, had to figure out like where I kind of stood on it. And one of the first lessons I learned in high school was like, yo, I didn't know that this nigga was gay, but this was my nigga. So he gonna be my nigga still. You feel me? Everybody can't do that. You know what I mean? Like because everybody don't have the type of friendships with other cisgender niggas to where it's like, yo, you good, my nigga. Like, ain't nobody, you gay, we know, you know what I'm saying? Like that, but that's not the approach that we have. It's like, this nigga, this, you know, F word and like this, that, and the third, nigga, we gonna get you some pussy, nigga. We go like that's the approach that niggas have with it. And so it's like we sit and look at these brothers that choose to make that decision and then demonize them for choosing to hide themselves and be who they are in secret when you live in a world that's consistently like, for example, accusing you of being a disease-ridden individual because of who you choose to fuck with, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's the bigger problem. You know what I mean? And so, like, but that down low brother mentality, that fear, that down low brother phobia, is what maintains that perception, right? That demonization.
Definitely, I think up in the comments, and I think that's something that I'm hoping. When I first saw it, I definitely thought of both gay and bisexual men in terms of hoping that starts to shape a little bit more of comfort in their community and really a more meaningful and proactive orientation toward what happens, because I don't want to be exclusive and dismissive of people's experiences with the down low experience. Like Damo just kind of hinted at, there's a justifiable reason why a lot of people don't run to the microphone and say, guess what I just discovered about myself, or guess who I really am. And so DL relationships do happen and shit gets messy and shit be honest. The narratives, just like cliches. Like if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. It's a cliche because people are like, yeah, that shit's true. Like tell somebody else. Similarly, we have some, not all stigmas, not all problematic notions, but there are some truths to the concerns that people have. They're just dated. They're outdated, right? And the conversation moves and changes and we don't move with it. And so I'm really hopeful that PrEP, being the type of medication that you can take on a regular basis to help block your ability to have the antibodies that cause the HIV virus that eventually gets to AIDS, that by being able to take that medication and get under that type of procedure, that you are in a better position to deal with some things. Are we, Michaela? Michaela says, are we just going through comments?
Oh, my fault.
Yeah,
I want to go back to Michaela, but I do want to respond to Catch These Hands. And he said, why do we people go to extremes like that? That's funny. That's a good use today. Catch these hands. But Catch These Hands said, why do people go to extremes like they're gonna get murdered if they tell the truth? I wonder what ratio ends in violence. I think it's more of a fear of judgment. It's both. It's the possibility of being murdered, as well as at best, you know what I mean? Or I'm gonna say at best, the best case scenario is you accept it, you're loved, and people treat you normal. Right, that's the best case scenario. But that the murder is something that happens too often. You feel me? Like I got a partner that I grew up with that was murdered in them type of circumstances. You feel me? Like I mean, I ain't not gonna get too in his business, but like ultimately it was that type of a situation, and he ended up losing his life because of that. And so we can't dismiss that like that's a reality. But even if we look at the murder aspect of it as being an extreme, being ostracized from the people you love,
that is just more than,
you know what I mean? Like that's a bitch, bro. Like that's more than enough reason.
Yeah,
you feel me? And that's common.
It's like literally being exiled from your immediate like family kinship that you built for a lot of people that I know. You know what I'm saying? Like them coming out because ultimately I feel like what the original question was about somebody saying, should I have to? So you're saying that a black man shouldn't have to disclose that he's bisexual with a woman, this, that, and the other. It's like that's a conversation about not only disclosure, but it's like literally coming out the closet. You know what I'm saying? It's like for some people, you feel me? It's like, there's too much for them to risk when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, coming out there, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to, no, you know what I mean? So just like some you gotta be able to just be real about it.
As a queer person, I tell people all the time, I don't believe in the politics of coming out. It's some shit I actually don't believe in. And that is because the people who have relationships.
Yeah, you gotta talk a little bit louder for this one. Yeah,
definitely. I don't believe in the positive. And let me be clear. I'm not saying like don't come out. I'm not saying people should not come out. I'm saying the coerced necessitation that people disclose to you their sexual orientation at any stage of you all's interactions. Like if you're asking them, are they able to be monogamous? Are they interested in building a relationship one-on-one, or are they fooling with other people? That's one question. But to demand that you tell me that you like, it is violent and everybody can't do it. It's certain backgrounds, certain lifestyles that people have not reconciled at the point that you want them to. What a lot of that shit means for them, and you can't force that. And I'm speaking from experience. So like coming out day, National Coming Out Day, don't celebrate that shit, never did, don't believe in it. Y'all do that, have it, tell your stories, do all those things. I'm happy they're beautiful and poetic, and your mama came out and cried with you, and everybody did the thing, and y'all went out for ice cream and stuff. It just does not end like that more often than not. And I don't think there is space left for people who have a very raggedy, very fucked up, very tattered coming out experience. And so you just don't get to who deputized you to be the empress and the king and queen of London, England, China, and France. I just don't know why you get to demand that from people when there are so many other things you can demand from the people you are in romantic relationship with.
Let me point this out because Toya just dropped a gem on niggas. First of all,
hey, I want to say is Toya probably didn't put
because we ain't gotta do that, George. We ain't gotta do that because anybody that's been listening to the conversation know, you know what I'm saying, where niggas stand, like where this shit lines up. But I want to say this type of shit right here, Travis, this shit is corny. We have the conversations that we have on this platform. And we speak from our perspective, our social locations, when we speak from whatever it is that we're talking about.
And
so before, so he ain't been listening. I mean,
he ain't been listening at all. Hell
yeah,
no,
he ain't been listening. So it's like niggas just show up to try to police the conversation, but it's like, my nigga, move around, bro. And this is the fun part of engaging the comments. Like, nah, niggas that come with the smoke, we be smoke ready. Like that. Hey, niggas ain't ready from it.
Ain't ready. You ain't never gotta get ready.
Go ahead to the next question, George.
Yeah, well, I feel like dude asked a loaded ass question. There was a whole bunch of clauses without saying this and without bringing up this and without saying this and without bringing up this. Why, dude? It was like, whoa, I see what you're trying to do here, because I asked without blaming black women, why do you exclusively date outside your race? I asked that question, and so your rebuttal question was this. My question, though, is I think what dude was getting at was kind of a pollution of one's masculinity in terms of being bisexual, right?
Yeah.
My question to the comment section, to the people that's listening to this on Spotify, to people listening to this on Apple Podcasts, you feel me? To, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? To just keeping it a stack. Why do y'all think much of society stigmatizes men that are bisexual and thinking that their masculinity is polluted as a result of them being bisexual? Why is it a dishonor in many instances for a man to be openly bisexual?
Well, I think it is because the graphic nature, because a lot of these relationships are only being identified by the sexual interactions that happen. The imagery that pops up in people's minds is one that takes away power from a man in a certain position in that exchange, and says a lot of negative things about a person in the more powerful position in that exchange. I think picturing and imagining people in positions that, you know, like sexual positions that you are typically see women like that, there's a disconnect there that then degrades your power, your strength, your value, your worth, as you are able to check the man box, right? And so I think that there is just like a literal visceral reaction people have to when you say gay, homosexual. It triggers an image, it triggers a picture. That picture is gross, and then all of a sudden we then associate that grossness with negativity, and then we diminish the value you have in that category because you're not what this is supposed to be.
I mean, and definitely as somebody, as a cisgendered individual who definitely used to engage in a lot of erasure and a lot of, you know, heteronormativity. I used to be somebody that would be like, nigga, if you a fucking dude, you gay. Ain't no bisexual. Like that used to be, I used to say that shit. They used to, before I understood, you know what I mean, like the flu, you know what I mean, how shit ain't
a lot to it. Me too. I was be like, fam, so you fucking another dude, you gay, bro? Like this killing. But now I know a little more. Now I know a little more to the text.
Yeah, it's because like even like the labels don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you end up learning. The relationships people want to have is the relationships people have, and it is because of that. Because I mean, I think it goes back to the overly religious understanding that is incorporated in how we understand sexuality, right? Like we essentially dealing with, I mean, there's a what they call abomination. Because shout out to Solar Vision Debate League. I fuck with a lot of Hebrew Israelites, a lot of very super religious niggas. We be engaging in debates and conversations, and I listen to them because these is our brothers, and I want to know why they, you know what I'm saying, why they think like that, and why they operate the way that they operate, and it all goes back to the Bible saying it's an abomination in this fashion. So like that dogmatic understanding is still prevalent through just our social fabric, and that's looked at as, well, if this was made for this, it's a very simplistic logic that, well, this gotta be just completely wrong, right? Like if it can't make babies, if it can't do that, it's a lot of very simplistic logic associated with what makes it wrong. And so go ahead, Toya.
But one of the things that this conversation also gets me to in terms of just the wrong things and doing the wrong things, and this can open up a whole nother can of worms that I'm not opening up. I'm just mentioning it. A lot of social media conversations that I also see pop up and get recycled is if a woman does X, Y, and Z to their man, does that make their man gay? If or is there something queer about that man if it is something that would typically be done between homosexual men and he likes that to be done? That's everything from, I'm about to get graphic here, so cover your ears and cover one of your eyes if you don't like it, but like ass play or being planked or like just different things that, like so the scope of it is big, but a lot of it is
like I'm covering my ears. I got headphones on. I'm sorry.
A lot of it is this rigidity. It's based on like this very monolithic understanding of what things is, what sex is, what sexuality is, what passion is, what it means to share moments, what satisfaction and pleasure are. All of those things are wrapped up in conversations that are insulated by our church, by religion, by all of those things. And so, I mean, call it what it is. It's just it's a skepticism that is.
To me, I feel like being around, you know what I'm saying, Dr. Amber Kelsey. I feel like you just say that we've been normalized to just having a bunch of bad sex. Therefore, in my mind, we have a very rigid understanding of like pleasure. You feel me? And to me, it's like heteronormativity is based off of a rigid understanding of desire and pleasure. So I feel like I feel like as a nigga that come from the hood, I feel like I'm conditioned to only understand pleasure and desire to go one way. And there's other ways that it's not even discoverable, can't be experimented. It's like hell no, stop with that, nigga. That's gay.
When I found out,
if you try this, you're gonna be gay forever. So you just
so figure it out.
When I found out that most women like don't know shit about an orgasm, I was like, damn, man, like what? For real?
Hey, Donald, on some real shit, even though we're having a conversation about black men being bisexual, the idea, like literally the reality of me learning that only a certain number of heterosexual black women ever experience orgasm, it made me open Pandora's box of thinking like, damn, maybe this sexuality, the actual not sexual, the actual sex part. You know what I'm saying?
It's very it's heavily.
Maybe think about this a little different. Maybe we ain't thinking about this. You know what I'm saying? God damn, like what's going?
Yeah.
Like, what?
But let's go ahead and cap it off, George, so we can go ahead and finish up with this.
Before George caps it off, I want to address two things. One, real quick, is this idea of competing with somebody else because your partner is bisexual. There is no competition. Are you competing with other women if the man chose you? Are you competing with other women? If the women chose you, then are you really competing with other women? If the man chose you, are you competing? No, they chose you. Their minds are on you. So what? Ask yourself what the difference is between you competing with other women who want your partner's attention and other men who want your partner's attention. You need to check your partner.
Monogamy.
Because your real issue is whether or not you have somebody you can trust, not whether you got somebody who's interested in other sexualities. That's really largely irrelevant in terms of your concerns. The last thing I want to say is Travis and Linda's. I don't want to be overly dismissive of you all's some of you all's takes that I've been seeing in the comments, because y'all are like, where are the bisexual men in this conversation? And that's fair. But I want to be clear about a couple of things. One, we can only speak from our social locations, and our social locations are in lived realities around bisexual men that we need to be accountable for forefronting and having in our conversation. So I don't think we have to drag a bisexual man in here.
Yes, and the question was, I played the audio. I played this audio. He's here. Shout out to you, DJ. I think DJ Al Good. I don't know. I didn't know you was gonna be here, but shout out to you. I played the audio for him. A black bisexual man posed the question.
But I mean, this is where y'all come in. If y'all see what we're gonna talk about. George's been telling y'all what the scoop is. Invite these people to come and dialogue with us. Check us. Tell us we wrong. Tell us we speaking out of turn. Our experience is only so deep. But I don't want to make it seem like we're gonna talk, be people who are talking about people and over people without including their experiences. We just can't have 1,000 people on every single show, and that shit is a litmus test for when we talk about the people we coexist with in this world. We are accountable for trans women. Even if they don't end up on the show, we're accountable for our other queer counterparts, for black people, for women. This is a labor of accountability. This is not a labor of exclusion. So I want to be clear about that.
Yeah. Right. And the last thing before we move on, we are not in the business of making spectacles of people just in order to prove a point. we are all individuals with a perspective on these issues that engage on and are held responsible for how we move, regardless of what our social or sexual orientation is. Right? Like, nigga, we are responsible for, have love for, stand for people that shouldn't have to be placed as a spectacle. Like, look, see, they with us. The fuck? Like, I'm like, listen, my niggas know what's up. And the niggas that got a question about it they ain't even in the circle, so they don't even fucking matter. You know what I mean? If anything,
you'll never know it. You know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, to be for real, if anything, yo, like the fact that there are brothers that are willing to speak on these issues specifically when being heterosexual or cisgender black men that are like our sexuality, which we really don't give a fuck. To be honest, we married men with kids. Like, we don't give a fuck what niggas on the internet think about our sexuality. But having these conversations creates that type of static. And nobody gives a fuck. You feel me? So it's like, I'm gonna stand with the niggas I stand by. I'm gonna speak, knowing that it's people that I love that endure these experiences, which is why I have the insight that I have. I'm speaking from the standpoint of I'm talking about people I fucking love. Yeah, you feel me? Definitely. People that's close to my fucking heart, and I'm seeing what they have to endure and what I at some point in my life was responsible for perpetuating.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But I mean, we don't owe anybody an explanation about what we choose to talk about.
Right. Now we've been live for an hour, and we definitely still got a whole other segment left, man, to go. I think that the purpose of the conversation, man, is just to unpackage issue that is seen as being very taboo, not only in the community, but I think throughout the world. There's a stigma to people being identifying openly as being bisexual, in terms of being seen as being untrustworthy, seen as being disease packing or disease transmitting, or being seen as deviant people, or people that's, you know what I'm saying, that's wishy-washy, they got their mind unmade up. I just think that it's important for us to have these conversations that have been very hard to have in the past, and that we've all been conditioned to see as being very taboo. I feel like in order for us to reach that pinnacle of liberation, of equality, of freedom, of whatever the hell you want to call it, I think we have to have these very hard conversations about how we understand different people and different understandings. And this, the last thing I'll say on this is that, dedicated to everybody that uses the exclusion of bisexual people as being a mere presence, the same hubris that you are able to exclude this demographic from who you date is the same way that the fuckboys is able to say, I don't date black women, and or I don't date dark-skinned black women because of X, Y, and Z. Most of y'all preferences, it really come from normalized oppression and discrimination that y'all have made rational. And you figured out little cute, persuasive ass ways to say it's a preference. So just to give you some rhetorical questions, because I like to say education is elevation. You feel me? Let me just ask you like 2 or 3 questions about your preference. Where does your preference come from? How did you develop these desires that made you come to these specific preferences? And is your preference tied to a marginalized community like them over there? They're not your preference. Is it ironic that they are seen as being disposable and disposable? Is it ironic? You know what I'm saying? If you start having a preference, and a lot of your people that you exclude from preferring starts being traditionally, historically disposable demographics, you have to ask yourself, how much are you lost in the sauce to how you've been conditioned to understanding desire and pleasure? This has been the Conscious Chop. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. What we got next?
Real quick, it's only Juice asked the question. Are y'all just here to only talk about people who agree with y'all? It's not a debate. It's not a debate. This is not.
Tomorrow we'll have that debate. Tomorrow we'll have that debate. Tomorrow the debate is happening tomorrow. Shout out to you, Toya. Tomorrow the debate is tomorrow. Tonight is the Chop Up Show, the podcast. Shout out to everybody tuned in to the podcast where we keep it chopped up and not slopped up. Goddamn. Shout out to everybody.
Where the comment? Where the comment? I want to put that shit on I want to put that on the Summer Jam screen. Where the comment? Who said? Did y'all come in the comments, yo, to not have your opinions challenged? Is this not okay? I understand typing fast and all that. I ain't gonna cut. You can challenge our opinions all you want, But that's why you getting this.
Make it good.
Like,
Make it
don't ask, you know what I'm saying? Don't challenge our statements. And then when we come with the smoke, be like, well, ain't that what you want? Yeah, we gave it to you. We gave you what you wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like, you challenged it. And that was
it's the chop up. Just like AM said, we just chopping it up.
Yeah, Journey, it's cool. Journey, calm down, Journey. It's cool.
Journey,
we got it.
My daughter in the background. She's also non-binary. She just out here living her life. But
that's the conscious chop. Y'all gonna get enough for telling us what the fuck we supposed to do on our podcast.
I know a lot of y'all that follow me, y'all know that I do debate things, and I'm big on debate, and like that's what I like doing, like debating. Just so we clear, just so we know, all three of us have a like top level college like debate background. You feel me? Like all three of us have, like, you know what I'm saying? Like all three of us, not only did we debate, like we really was debating and kicking ass. So just so
the nigga being subtle, but we kind of legends at what we did. I'm gonna leave it at that though.
I ain't gonna say. I'm gonna keep.
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that though, because I ain't know. I'm gonna say that. You feel me? But to get into and it's my chop now anyway. So that's why I'm gonna say that.
One more thing, and I'm gonna be quick. Dick love that it's only juice. We were. I was wrong. I stand corrected. I sit corrected. There was a comment.
I'm sorry.
Interacting going back and forth. It wasn't to us. And Jason Locke also cleared me up, fixed me up. That wasn't to us. They was going back and forth. They trying to chop it up with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Y'all chopping it up in the chat.
Yeah, they got nothing to do with you.
Let me fall back. We love y'all.
I'm gonna beer real fast, man.
Get your beer, George. Get your beer. Because
when George get his drink and shit, let's talk about these politics. That's what I want to get into.
Yeah. We about to get into this political chop. We do. I know we had some people in Georgia. For the 180 some people that's still with us, thank you. We do got one more chop we want to get through. The first part of the chop, we're gonna run through that one kind of quick. Once George get back, but we're talking about the election in Georgia. Flower Boy, I know you saw that. You said you missed the first part of the conversation. If you check Spotify tomorrow, you will find that portion of the conversation, the conscious chop. You can just listen to that all on its own. So you can check out the political chop tonight. If y'all go to Spotify, now we've kind of switched up who's. I know y'all was complaining about when the episodes was getting up. That was my bad. Toya is a little bit more diligent than myself. We're getting them up. So you can check. I'm saying right now, check tomorrow. If you missed the part of the conversation or you want to go back and replay it and call us out, you know what I'm saying? Challenge us on anything. Go back, check on Spotify, Apple, iTunes. My boy Melvin, shout out to Melvin, Black Intelligentsia in the building. He said we on Pocket Cast too, so you can find us there. You can Terry, you can also find the Over 30 podcast on Facebook and YouTube. Just go to YouTube, Over 30 podcast. We there too. But now that we got the boy George back, cheers. The homie done pulled up. You know what I'm saying? Until you got the water because she fasting.
Listen, I take this all back if I found out 4 or 5 brewing companies racist or something, or they got some problems and shit. But this Limelight, this blind beer with limes, this racket, man. You know,
it's smacked just a little bit. But with this political chop, we're gonna go ahead and point out that there is a big time election coming up in the state of Georgia. They have 2 Senate seats that will decide the fate of the Senate. What I mean by that is currently the Republicans have a 2-seat lead in the Senate for the majority. So that means that they dictate how the Senate moves. 52. The House in the last election maintained itself. Democrats lost seats, but they had that big enough ground to be able to maintain to their majority. Now that we have I'm not a fucking Democrat. I be helping them campaign, but I'm not. I be telling niggas to vote for them, but I'm not. If y'all got any questions about that, just go to the political plug on Instagram. I'm not a Democrat. I'm black, and it'll just explain all of that shit.
If somebody want to beat him on a debate on it.
But and Melvin is right, and that's why I'm not a fucking Democrat, because they don't know how to do shit right. How the fuck they reelected Nancy Pelosi after in 2018 they said that they was only gonna make her speaker to allow for the new people to come in and transition, but yet this she was that. She failed at the impeachment. She failed at the Russia shit. She wasn't able to do shit productive in terms of getting Donald Trump out of there. The people had to come save her. That's a whole nother thing.
In terms of the stimmy, like, why are you just getting just stupid? Just can't trust her either, in my opinion. But
right. And so, but for the people in Georgia,
and too, I seen them trying to do some pimp shit to the people in Georgia. Talk about some, if y'all vote blue, we'll have those 2,000 stimulus checks go rolled out to you immediately. And he was like, "Oh, y'all trying to really do some."
They gassing. But I mean, we would have had $2,000 stimulus checks if it wasn't for Mitch McConnell and Senate Republicans. Mm-hmm. So ultimately, what this race will decide is if Democrats end up creating a tie in the Senate, where there is equal number Democrat, equal number Republican, and the vice president, who is the president of the Senate, breaks that tie, which is the currently Kamala Harris, which would give Democrats the edge in both the House and the Senate. This race decides that the candidates who are being chosen between is the pastor Raphael Warnock and a billionaire Kelly Loeffler. Now, Raphael Warnock, if this means anything to y'all, which it should, because as Black people, again, it's certain things that we need to hold valuable. Raphael Warnock is the pastor of the church that Dr. King, that is the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was Ebenezer Baptist Church, right? So that's a historically a significant church for the movement of Black people. Raphael Warnock, who's been called out for some things that he has said about racism in America. There was a great piece, I think it was either the New York Times or the Washington Post. I'm sorry for not having that specifically, that spoke to how the criticism that's associated with Raphael Warnock and how he speaks out against America is ignoring the cultural significance of Black churches and how the struggle of Black people has been at the center of Black churches and how they organize, right? So Raphael Warnock is a part of that radical tradition. Kelly Loeffler, who is a really don't know shit about politics, she's just a billionaire, has a WNBA team, and her WNBA team has come out supporting Raphael Warnock. So that speaks, and Kelly Loeffler is actually campaigning with a white supremacist as we speak. On the other side, we got John Perdue, and we have not John Perdue. We got it's Perdue, David Perdue. Another billionaire, billionaire, never really held a political position, just got rich off politics, or got rich in business and ran for office. He's campaigning against Jon Ossoff. Jon Ossoff is a liberal. I can't really give him too much more than that. He lost in 2018 in the Senate race back then, and it's going to be much more difficult for him to beat Perdue than it is Raphael Warnock to beat Loeffler. Raphael Warnock did have a lead in the general election, and so the runoff is expected to go more so in his direction. Jon Ossoff, we gonna see, right? Y'all pay attention to that. We're gonna have more conversation of that after the results come next week. We're gonna talk about what that means. But because what I want to get into tonight though is that because this is just comedy. This is just we just about to make, because we want to make fun of Donald Trump for the last few times of 2021 before he becomes completely irrelevant.
Exactly.
All right.
Peace out. Big love to y'all.
And so in recently it was a phone call that because we staying in the state of Georgia, it was a phone call that came out where Donald Trump was talking to the Secretary of State of Georgia, who is responsible for the elections in the state. And he is clearly pressuring him to do some things that he ain't really up to doing. Now, what we're gonna do to close the show out is we're gonna listen to a few clips, some sound bites. Yeah, look, Melvin said, did y'all hear Trump's phone call? We're gonna listen to some sound bites.
Did we hear it? You about to hear it right now, goddamn.
Yeah, we about to listen to some sound bites of his conversation, and get in and really get into understanding what the fuck is going on. So I'm not gonna play the video, but you will hear the sound. Tell me if y'all can't hear it. We're gonna start with the first sound bite. This is where Donald Trump starts speculating with the Secretary of State and talking about what people are saying in order to kind of get to pressure him in order to get into the election. Let's get it started. It's gonna start with our first sound bite. And feel free to chime in when y'all want to. If you got a comment, just let me know. We only gonna play pieces of it, a few sound bites, and we're gonna call it an evening. Let's get into the first one.
Although I saw you on television today, and you said that you found nothing wrong.
Can y'all hear it?
You know, I didn't lose faith, Fred. People have been saying that it was the highest vote ever. There was no way. A lot of the political people said that there's no way they beat me, and they beat me. They beat me in the poll. As you know, every single state. We won every state. We won every state house in the country. We held the Senate, which is shocking to people, although we'll.
Now I gotta ask y'all a question: who the fuck are political people? Like
You,
like he talking about everybody. You know, I've talked to a lot of political people. What person in politics refers
Fox
to
News?
other people in politics as political people?
Fox News.
Right, Fox News. That was him starting to get into some of the language about, you know, why he felt like the Secretary of State should start questioning certain things, start paying attention to certain things. But this is where he's really getting it. This is where he really starts to get into, you know, because he was playing a game. Anybody who listened to the call, he was playing a game early on, just kind of laying out all the things that he considers facts. But now we're gonna listen to him kind of get to the bread and butter. This is Donald Trump attempting to get the Secretary of State to overturn an election that's already been decided. Y'all listen.
Hold on, real quick, before you press play, one of the things I want y'all to listen out for that kills me about Donald Trump is he full of shit and he be lying, and it's almost like he say everything twice, because the first time he trying to say it to himself, and then that's like he like agreeing to it again. Like he like, I'm talking to a lot of political people. Been talking to a lot of political people. Like it's real weird. It's like he said to himself first to make sure he's sure that's what he want to know.
Oh, shit.
It's a weird thing. But play.
They said 3,000 pounds of ballots.
3,000 pounds of ballots.
The report today, and you know, it's a very sad situation. But Brad, if you took the minimum numbers, were many times above the 11,779, and many of those numbers are certified, or they will be certified, but they are certified. Those are numbers that are there, that exist, and that beat the margin of loss. They beat it, I mean, by a lot. And people should be happy to have an accurate count instead of an election where there's turmoil. I mean, there's turmoil in Georgia and other places. You're not the only one. I mean, we have other states that I believe will be flipping to us very shortly. And
Why the fuck?
How? Yeah,
in Detroit.
Oh my God.
like how? You feel me? Like he's just saying we got numbers and we got numbers.
Donald Trump is literally hitting him with the man. The game cheating, man. That's why I don't like playing 2K. Because
Yeah,
2K
like this is why I don't like playing 2K, boy. You can't be on that bullshit.
What kind of quantity of ballots is 3,000 pounds of ballots? Like, that's not how you quantify ballots, because that's the wrong measurement for.
Oh, talking about measurements, right?
Yeah.
Listen to this. We're gonna fast forward a little bit. Listen to why Donald Trump feels is no way that he could have lost. Let's fast forward. This is him explaining his reasoning and logic to why there's no way he could have lost. What's that?
Hey, man, they say drastic times call for drastic measures.
Man,
And this is what we call Donald Trump going through drastic measures. Come on, Donald.
check it out.
With a massive amount of votes. And they say it's not possible to have lost Georgia. And I could tell you by our rallies. I could tell you by the rally I'm having on Monday night. The place, they already have lines of people standing out front waiting. It's just not possible to have lost Georgia. It's not possible. When I heard it was close, I said, there's no way. But they dropped a lot of votes in there late at night. You know that, Brett. And that's what we are working on very, very stringently.
Bro, in what world do you quantify who's gonna vote for you by the lines outside of your motherfucking?
I'm telling you a world. I'm telling you a world. The Simpsons. That word in Springfield. That's what you quantify it, man. This is straight up out of Matt Groening's, whatever his last name is.
Simpsons.
I feel like this to me, this recording is straight up out of the imagination of the writers, man.
Bro,
it's like he literally is basing the winning of the entire state of Georgia off of what rally in what little small county. It wasn't in Atlanta.
Right. Now that's him when he's measured, right? But as this phone call progresses, and listen, it's an hour long, and I was telling George this earlier. I listened to the whole thing, and I was so thoroughly entertained that it didn't feel like an hour. I looked up and realized, like, damn, that's it. You know what I'm saying? I wanted some more of that shit because he really started to lose his shit. Because this is where it gets interesting. Now, this is a phone call with him, the Secretary of State of Georgia, and the Secretary of State Georgia's lawyers, right? And their lawyer did a press conference earlier today for the Today Show. Y'all can find that on YouTube or everywhere else. But this is the Secretary of State responding to a lot of the bullshit that Donald Trump is bringing up to let him know, like, hey, nah, bro, that shit ain't right. Let's listen.
Hey, Daisha said, our phone call, I would have hung up on that man.
Hold on. But
I don't know about y'all, but like it's been something about Donald Trump, watching him, listening to him talk. It's grating. I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to whatever, but like my political, like I was trying to keep my political appetite wet by making sure I'm listening in, and he's giving speeches and addresses, and the sound of his voice is like, oh my Lord Jesus, I have to get out of here. And then on top of that, I fool around and listen to the content, and you full of shit. Like, please turn it off.
Hey Vance, we know game. Nigga, I play Madden. I know games cheat, bro. I know games cheat, but it's like, you know, niggas. It's the niggas that suck at 2K that be like, nah, bro. Because George used to whoop my ass in 2K all the fucking time. and that used to be the first man. 2K bullshitting, bro. That used to be the shit. So he was talking about me. He's talking about me when he said that shit. So fuck George. But let's get back into Donald Trump. This is Brad Raffensperger, who is the Secretary of State of Georgia. This is him responding to Donald Trump's accusations.
Well, Mr. President, the challenge that you have is the data you have is wrong. We talked to the congressman. And
Hold on, did y'all hear it? Could y'all hear him?
No, he said the thing is you're wrong.
He threw the control after that.
One of my favorite parts listening to this interview was Donald Trump will go like on this monologue about all the bullshit going on and all everything was, and then Mr. Ben would be like, but President Trump, that's just not true. And Donald Trump will go back in and do whatever. He'd be like, our information.
Oh, we got some of them, Toya. I got some of them. Right. I got some of them. But let's listen to Brad B. Rad. Let's listen to him be as calm as possible dealing with Donald Trump bullshit.
Prize. But I guess there was a person named Mr. Raynard that came to these meetings and presented data. And he said that there was dead people, I believe it was upward of 5,000. The actual number were 2.
To be clear, the Trump administration and the Trump campaign team has been making claims that thousands of dead people have been voting. The Secretary of State and his office did an investigation. It was 2.
Yeah.
It was 2. That was it. It wasn't a bunch of motherfuckers going back and forth. But let's listen to Donald Trump, how he responds to when the facts get put in his face. Because remember, like if you listen to Political Plug, I'm about to be getting in Democrats' ass after this. Like Donald Trump is no longer relevant because Democrats got a good chance of being in control of government. So I'm gonna be getting in their ass after this. So this is our last laugh of Donald Trump. Let's see how he responds.
2 people that were dead that voted. And so that's wrong. That was 2.
Well, Cleta, how do you respond to that? I mean, you tell me.
What I will say, Mr. Secretary, one of the things that we have requested.
And I don't even want to put the lady who was putting her, like the lawyer who was putting herself on the line. We're not here to make fun of her ass because she gonna say some silly shit too. But do you see how when he was hit with the facts, that cognitive dissonance just made him go, well, somebody else respond. Because you have no real facts. You making this shit up. You have no way to substantiate the claims that y'all making. Have y'all heard this shit about what's the name? The shit about the dead people voting?
No.
Yeah. No, listen. You know me, I be on TikTok and I be on Clapper. And one thing I know about conservative contradictions is they will hey, listen, they will universalize a small sample size of some bullshit and claim that it's universal everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I done seen them roll out the the death certificates of somebody that died in 2017, but somehow they voted in 2020, or you know what I'm saying, shit like that. And my mom is thinking like, fam, your candidate lost by how many millions of votes?
And that's what I mean. When you were widespread voter fraud, not this this thing over here, this blip on the radar, this one happenstance, this outlier. You said just outstanding, gross, negligent voter fraud. 2, that does not equal. That does not amount.
And I want to remind y'all. The Secretary of State that he going back and forth with is a Republican. Brad Raffensperger is a admitted Trump supporter.
He was talking to Brad. He was like, Brad, but you're a Republican, Brad. I know. How are you saying Republicans don't do the math? They don't do the mathing? Because based on my experience, one of those qualifications is that you can, and we counted them, and the numbers are square, my guy. So you bringing up my political affiliations. Real sus, because I know, my nigga, I'm a Republican. Even the Republicans are saying you lost. Like that's
real
how you know
sus. Real sus. Now this is when we start getting. This is halfway through the call. Donald Trump is losing his cool. Listen in.
Votes. I'm just going by small numbers. When you add them up, they're many times the 11,000. But I won that state by hundreds of thousands of votes. Now, do you think it's possible that they shredded ballots in Fulton County? Because that's what the rumor is. And also that Dominion took out machines. That Dominion is really moving fast to get rid of their...
Y'all see how he went from one lie to the next?
No, my nigga, you are the president of the United States, and you said that's what the rumor is? That's what you said. The word on the street is like, what are you doing? What are we doing here? And Dominion came and got the machines, and then keep playing it. Brad says, "Sir, Dominion hasn't picked up any of the machines." Like, really?
Right. No. Yeah, we're gonna get into more. We're gonna get into more of the responses. We just getting through it because it's getting late on the East Coast.
Me too, man. I gotta wake up early in the morning, man. I gotta drive.
We ain't worried about you. We definitely know. It's more about the audience. We ain't worried about you. But you're 100% right. Like the nigga just when the truth is right there in his face, he find ways to lie. You feel me? I had a teacher that used to say, you could lie between 2 drops of rain. She was talking about Donald Trump. Goddamn it. She was talking about Donald Trump. But let's continue this next clip. This is when it gets strange, right? Because we know how Donald Trump used social media, right? This is how Donald Trump, when Donald Trump is accused of listening too much to social media, this is how he responds.
Not social media being his source of news,
bro. Hold on. This is when he's told. Yeah, when he's told that, this is how he responds. Real quick. Let me pull it up. 31:16. Let me just get to that. It's only gonna be a few more, and then we're gonna close it out. Because, I mean, y'all don't really, like I said, go back and listen to it to have a good laugh. But this is when he's accused of doing too much with social media.
I don't think that plays.
Mr. President, the problem you have with social media, people can say anything.
No, this isn't social media. This is Trump media. It's not social media. It's really not. It's not.
Can y'all help me understand what the fuck Trump media is?
Dun dun dun! Goddamn the apprentice media.
What is that? Like Trump media.
It's real news, not fake news, sir. It's real news, not fake news. It is the mainstream facts, not the alternative facts. You know what I'm saying?
Man, listen. Like the dude, it's like he's literally saying, "Well, nah, I'm only listening to the people that agree with me." You feel me? Like that's literally where he leaving it up to. Like I'm only listening to the people that agree with me.
K. Alfred said Trump media equals Fox News.
Oh, like Toya, what is that face? Is she froze? She gotta be froze because what she been stuck on that face for a little bit. So we gonna give Toya a minute to come back in here. We gonna play. I'm gonna play one.
We can wrapping it up, man. I gotta wake up.
No. We gonna wrap it up. I just want to play the one with Stacey Abrams. We're gonna wrap it up, but this is what
gotta play that. Gotta play that.
Yeah, we gonna wrap it up. But this is how he spoke on Stacey Abrams. It's two of them real quick. I'm gonna just play his comments on Stacey Abrams and we're gonna close it out. I want y'all to go back and listen to those because this is comedy. This is the first thing that he's had to say about Stacey Abrams and how she's been going up against this. I mean, how effective she's been in this past election.
We are the aggrieved party. Fulton County, look, Stacey, in my opinion, Stacey is as dishonest as they come. She has outplayed you at every heart, at everything. She got you to sign a totally unconstitutional agreement, which is a disastrous agreement. You can't check signatures. You can't do it. I can't imagine you're allowed to do harvesting, I guess, in that agreement. That agreement is a disaster for this country. But she got you somehow to sign that thing, and she's outsmarted you at every step. And I hate to imagine what's going to happen on Monday or Tuesday.
He's talking about the election, when that's concerned. But do you hear how he's using the effectiveness of Stacey Abrams against the Secretary of State, bro? Like it's a backwards half-ass comment or you know what I'm saying, compliment. Like on one end he's saying like, you know, Stacey, she doing her thing, but on the other end he's like, nigga, I'm only saying that because I don't fuck with you. Toya, did you hear the Stacey Abrams comments?
No, what was that?
He was saying that Stacey Abrams is making a fool of them niggas.
Oh,
is making a fool of the rest of them.
Oh, yeah, because the black woman is gonna possess some shit into effect regardless. You have to say her name in the space. Admit it. Say it out loud. She's on your ass.
She's on your ass. I'm gonna play one more. I'm gonna play the last comment he made about Stacey Abrams, and then we're gonna close it out. We have been on for an hour and a half. Last comment, we're gonna close it out. Here we go. This is when we more so get to the end of the call, because throughout this call, he's literally begging them, like, what's up? We only need these many votes. What you gonna do? We only need this much. What you gonna do? So as Donald Trump is realizing that the Secretary of State and his attorney ain't fucking with him, this is what he resorts to. And this is literally at the end of the call, about 59 minutes and 56 seconds into the call. This is what Donald Trump resorts to. Bear with me just a moment. All right, we're gonna start right there.
We don't care, but we got that information from you. And Stacey Abrams is laughing about, she's going around saying these guys are dumber than a rock. What she's done to this party is unbelievable, I tell you. And I only ran against her once, and that was with a guy named Brian Kemp, and I beat her. And if I didn't run, Brian wouldn't have had even a shot, either in the general or in the primary. He was dead as a doornail.
Brian Kemp is the governor.
Shot at either one of them. What a schmuck I was. But that's the way it is. That's the way it is.
So that was that's towards the end of the call. I mean, after that, they start to wrap it up. It's a lot more cop and please. So if you don't have nothing to do, if you've really been just fucking fed up with a Trump presidency and you want to hear the desperate, childish, anti-intellectual approach that this man has to the game, if you want to hear that crumble and fall and be undermined, please just go and listen to it. It's comedy. It's comedy. Shout out to Stacey Abrams. Because as y'all saw, anybody who caught last week's episode, my black MVP for 2020 was Stacey Abrams. And Donald Trump agrees. So George was wrong because his black MVP was Donald Trump. And so if Donald Trump agreed with me, that Stacey Abrams got nigga looking stupid. George Donald Trump agreed. You know what I'm saying? Anything you want to add to that, Toya, before we call it a night?
Nah, I think we're ready to put a bow on this thing. He'll laugh and start. He was laughing and start coming on in. We endured. We made it through, and he'll laugh and start on the way out. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of the shit he doing matters. None of it makes sense. Tomorrow, like you had just pointed out, that just the shit that they are doing, that they come up with, that, you know, he was saying Stacey Abrams is running laps around y'all. I still don't understand the whole tactic of telling Republicans to stay home. I still don't get why that is a logical response to like them being beat up like that and pushed around at the polls.
We're gonna see if it works. We're gonna see if that works next week.
Fraud. So say it's real fraud, man. Ain't no way in hell that Georgia won by this much to Democrats. Yeah. They fraud. They lying.
So, I mean, shoot, we're going to have to see. Miss Thompson, you in the comments, you didn't miss the debate. The debate is tomorrow. Consciously is going to be debating tomorrow on his page. So check out all the info. You know, he's going to be posting and talking about it tomorrow. Tonight was a chop-up show. We kind of had a little preliminary discussion, if you will, about what that debate is going to be about. If you missed the discussion we had about men and bisexuality, it's okay. Jump on Spotify, what is that? Apple Podcasts, Blog Talk Radio, everything else. You're going to be able to catch up to that conversation, to be pretty solid there. Probably expect that tomorrow afternoon or sometime. I got to wake up and handle some business, but I'm going to drop that edit for the segments tomorrow so that if y'all missed anything, you back on track before the end of the day. Don't even worry about it.
Right. I mean, and that's it, man. That's it for the political chop. Next week, we will be discussing the outcome of that Georgia election. For everybody that tuned in, for we got 116 people that's still with us. We thank y'all for joining us. Go ahead and make sure y'all subscribe to both the Consciously and the Chop Up Show. Subscribe to both of them. Yeah, because it's dope shit. The Consciously and the Chop Up Show. We got the Lost in the Sauce lecture series that you'll be finding on the Consciously, and the Chop Up Show. We here live every Monday. I mean, and on the Consciously page.
Like they should pick like unless told otherwise.
Unless told
otherwise.
We here.
We see how advertising and promoting do for it. So we're gonna be letting you know on the Monday, a few hours before we go live, like in a few different posts that we going live. And unless we are not going live, we'll make posts and saying, "Hey guys, going live this Monday, this, that, and the other. We see y'all next Monday." But we're gonna be making posts every time we go, every week now. Yeah, I'm saying all three of us gonna be posting. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? On Monday, you know what's going on.
Samantha, thank you for your input. We did, and everybody that commented. We thank all of y'all for being a part of the conversation. Make sure y'all follow us on Instagram at the Chop Up Show on Instagram. Please want to get the segments of these episodes
right now.
Right. If you want to get the segments of these episodes, please just go to Spotify, the Chop Up Show on Spotify, and the Chop Up Show on Apple Podcasts. Either one, you'll be able to get it. What'd you say, Toya?
Jamar said the Apple Podcast is messed up. I'm gonna check on that and see what's good. Make sure y'all go to the Chop Up Show and not just the Chop Up. The Chop Up Show is where we're gonna post all those things, because we used to have an old page, an old Apple Podcast platform. And the Chop Up Show. Make sure you go to the show part. That's where I'm gonna make sure.
That's where she gonna make sure that the episodes get uploaded. That's what she was about to say. But we definitely appreciate y'all for joining the conversation. If y'all want to continue the conversation, y'all stay on the lookout for the clips from the episode, from today's episode, and segments. We're gonna make sure that you get segments of it on the, both Consciously's Instagram page and our Instagram page. You can follow me at The Political Plug on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook. Consciously, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Toya G, ToyuHgee, Instagram, Facebook. Y'all fuck with us. We appreciate the love, and we're gonna end it. We're gonna go ahead and close it out with the outro. It's the same as the intro.
Hold on. Before you play the outro, best believe y'all, the website and merch for the podcast is coming real soon. When I say real soon, I mean like real soon. So be on the lookout for that.
We got some shit coming for 2021.
Loyal Chop Up listeners, you know what I'm saying? Everybody that always ask me, Consciously, man, you got a podcast? You should be on a podcast. You do a podcast. I have a podcast. I've been doing this podcast for about 3 years too. You feel me? So holla at your boy. You know what I'm saying? Come holla at us, man. I'm gonna play the intro and take us out.
Me, my guys, we really live. Lord, forgive me, pay my tithes. Please don't have me reach inside. And that's in the console. Keep the semi when I ride. Let off Henny when I drive. In the city, we gon' slide. Bet I be there pronto.